at name na nasa birth certificate. So these are the requirements for that. Of course, we filed the policy detail amendment form. And then, yan, kailangan ng photocopy of the marriage contract. In this case, scanned copy or a photograph of the marriage contract. If it's because of a legal separation or annulment, yan, hingan po natin sila ng copy of the certified true copy of the entry of judgment and decision issued by the court kung saan siya final. Correction of name, yan, photocopy of any valid ID or document containing the correct name. So, yan. So, saan ba nakikita yung forms? So, sige, balik tayo dun sa main website muna. So, all of our forms, all customer request forms are available in the website. You can download it there. Where is it found? So, just go to, yan, to the navigation bar. Go to Claims and Support, press the down button para lumabas yung iba pang choices. And then, ayan, just go to Forms Library. Of course, yan, yung claims we will discuss later on. So the customer request forms, so the first one that we are tackling is a policy detail and amendment form. So alphabetical naman po yan. Yan. So all forms may part 1 talaga. They ask for the name, the name of the client. They require at least a mobile number and email. And then yung agent code ninyo, of course, and the policy number of the client. Ito ay template na tong part 1 for all the forms. So for the policy detail amendment form, so yun yung unang diniscuss, paano pag may correction in the name. So just tick the box ng change name of policy owner or insured, tapos ilagay nyo lang yung tama. Tapos yun yung ipoprocess nila. Yan. Tapos ayan, we attach the form, the marriage certificate, for example, or yung sa annulment, or the correct name with this form when we send it to policy request. And of course, ang lagi magsasign ay yung owner. Kung may irrevocable beneficiary din, and of course you as the witness. Okay, next. Daanan na rin natin lahat ng pwede natin gawin. So you can also change beneficiaries and change details. You can change the preferred mailing address. So kung kunyari lumipat ng bahay, you can also do that through the policy detail amendment form. Contact information. So hindi na kailangan yung update phone and update phone and address. Lahat 'yon nandito na sa policy detail amendment form. And yun lang. Yung mga kailangan ng changes, you just tick the box corresponding to the request. So yan, you can change the contact information, change the name, change the preferred mailing address if they moved, or kung gustong biglang sa office nilang ipadala. You can change the beneficiaries. Just follow this format. Last, first, and middle initial, date of birth in relationship to the client. Ayan, pati kung irrevocable ba or revocable. Please note that whatever will be written in the form, in this form for beneficiaries, will supersede any previous designations before. So, what does this mean? Kunyari, nilagay ninyo, for example, si Israel at si Leia ay aking beneficiaries. And then gusto kong idagdag si Nicole. If I just write Nicole here, mawawala sa beneficiaries ko si Israel tsaka si Leia. So when changing beneficiaries, kung i-add natin, please also write yung previous ninyo na beneficiary. So ilalagay ko si Israel, ilalagay ko si Leia, and then saka ko ilalagay si Nicole. And then saka ko i-manage yung share. Ayan. So Decrease coverage. So pwede siyang mag-decrease coverage. This is applicable as of now for Family Secure na pwede ngang i-decrease yung coverage after 10 years. Of course, delete rider, pwede yan. Pwedeng mag-delete ng rider for limited pay plans. Pwedeng mag-delete ng rider anytime before 1 year of one anniversary of the plan. So during the first year, pwede nyo pang bagu-baguhin yung plan. You can delete a rider, you can add a rider also. Yan. Changing payment modes, pwede rin. This is the form that you also use if they want to change from annual to quarterly to semi-annual. Monthly lang ang wala. Change non-forfeiture option. This is for OL policies like ACP 100 and AIO. Ayan, pwedeng extended term, automatic premium loan from the cash value, reduced paid up. Change dividend options. This is for older policies like Vanguard, yung mga may dividends. So pwedeng they can choose to pay it in cash, use their dividends to pay their premium dues, leave with company to earn interest. So they can not, pwedeng iwan lang nila dun sa policy, and purchase paid up insurance. Pwede nilang pangdagdag ng coverage. Change signature also is possible. So this is more applicable to married women na minsan gusto nila magpalit ng kanilang signature. Of course, men can also do that as well. So ayan lang, just sign with the old signature that's reflected in the policy, and then sign new signatures, dalawang sample ng new signatures. Other transactions, you fill this out pag, for example, you want a cancellation of a credit card. Kung naka-ADA siya tapos magpapalit ng credit card, you can put here cancel ADA or ACA, tapos you can, this is usually done in conjunction with other forms like the ADA form or the ACA form. And of course, the signature we discussed earlier. Okay, so that's for the policy detail amendment form. Next is ayan. Replace loss and damage policy or policy contract, request for copy of loss policy. So this now applies also, right now, all of our policies are e-policies. So the request for copy of loss policy or damage policy contract is now comparable to asking for a hard copy. So, but of course, may mga clients tayo na meron naman talaga ng policy before. So if they have a damage policy and they want to request a new one, it has to be signed by all irrevocable beneficiaries. Kailangan po notarized. So that's an extra challenge right now for kasi nga ang notary pa rin kailangan pumunta para doon sa dry seal. For damage policy, submit certification from the municipality stating the disaster, if caused by a disaster, yung damage or mutilation. Processing fee is 200, courier fee is 80. This has, of course, this was in 2014. Right now, the cost for requesting a policy contract is 500 pesos. 500 pesos. And then, for reissuance of the duplicate policy only, kung wala namang damage, only the advisor or the servicing advisor can process this. Kailangan lang ng same 500 pesos lang din yan. For reissuance or duplicate policy, or pag may pinagawang policy amendment na gusto rin nila naka-reflect doon, the policy owner has to personally appear or personally request for it. So this can be done also sa e-plan or by going to Spark or by calling. So the request for replacement of loss policy is also here. So as I mentioned, yung contact information is always part of any form. And then, yan. Yung if for replacement of lost policy, they can have it sent to their address, or ayan, you can disregard this already kasi before, when we are filing for claims, si Philam Life requires na ibalik yung policy contract. But now, it's no longer needed. So, pwedeng not for reprinting na lang yan. This forms part of the thing na i-notarize nung abogado. So, they just have to fill in their details here. And of course, they need to sign. Okay, next form. Yan, updating your beneficiary. As I said, yun, kasama yun dun sa policy detail amendment form. If current beneficiary is irrevocable, kailangan nakasign po yung irrevocable beneficiaries. When designating a spouse as a new beneficiary, for example, single, nung kumuha ng policy from us, so ngayon idadagdag yung yung kanyang asawa, kailangan po ng marriage contract. In terms naman ng idadagdag nila yung anak nila, for example, nung binentahan natin wala pa silang anak, or isa pa lang yung anak and they want to add the new child to their beneficiaries, kailangan naman mag-submit ng birth certificate ng bata. Yun. Yan, so extension of grace period. This is more applicable for the OL policies. So, ang ating VULs, all of our VULs, of course, automatic naman yung 30-day na grace period. Our OLs also are automatic din naman yung 30 days grace period, but they have an option to request for an extension of the grace period. But yun lang, please take note that this is only allowed only once every policy year. Applies only to the premium of the policy. Kung may loan or interest due, hindi yun talaga kailangan mabayaran on the due date. And policy owner must have paid 2 quarterly premiums or 1 semi-annual premium to be able to enact itong extension of grace period. And it's not allowed for term plans and ULP. So this is just for OL. Yan. Wala rin pala dito yan. Request for extension of grace period. Again, the contact information. Ayan, and ilalagay lang dyan kung kailan yung due date, tapos kung kailan magbabayad. So ito yung 60 days naman naka-compute lang din dyan. So if you fill out lang kung kailan yung 60 days. Yan. So this is just an agreement na kumbaga promissory note na magbabayad ng premium yung client. Yan. Of course, because of the Bayanihan Act last year, automatic itong extension even for VUL. Next, change mode of payment. Again, you use the policy detail amendment form as you saw earlier. Ayan. Something to note lang din. Before changing the mode of payment, kailangan it conforms to the cycle of the original mode of premium payment. So for example, from quarterly mode to annual mode. So kunyari January bumili ng policy, hindi pa siya pwedeng mag-annual on the third quarter. Pwede lang siya mag-shift to semi-annual kasi nakapagbayad na siya ng dalawang quarters, which is a semi-annual payment. Kailangan muna niya makatapos ng isang buong taon bago makapag-annual. Same then with, for example, monthly. To shift to quarterly, kailangan at least maka 3 months na sila tapos pwedeng i-shift to quarterly yung payment. Of course, if you shift from any mode to monthly, pwede yan gawin kahit anong buwan. or kung kailan mag-fall due yung kanilang premium. Yan. So it has to follow a cycle. So hindi pwede na 1 quarter pa lang tapos gusto na nilang pag 1 quarter pa lang pwede na yun mag-annual kasi babayaran na lang nila yung remaining 3 quarters. But if it's done in the middle, kailangan semi-annual muna, etc. Ayan. Paano yung increase or decrease of coverage naman and add or delete riders? So aside from the policy detail amendment form, this will require also a health statement form. Doon kasi pwede mag-a-add ng rider. And of course, kailangan nilang sumagot nung medical questionnaire again para magawa. Yan. As I said, it's allowed within 1 year and will take effect as of the original effective date. If they want it done, if they want to adjust their coverage. Contestability period commences on the approval date for the additional face amount. So nagre-reset po yung contestability kung kailan sila nagpa-approve ng bagong face amount. So again, kailangan ng policy detail amendment form, the health statement form, the policy contract. If the policy is rewritten, ibig sabihin may mga kasi i-adjust yung face amount so invalid na yung former contract. Medex, if kailangan, if yung substandard yung sagot nila sa health statement form kung nagkasakit sila for example, and of course babayaran yung additional na premium kung tumaas siya or bumaba, and 200 pesos na processing fee. So ang bagong na-discuss na form is the health statement form. So please, again, this is the health statement form. Again, part 1 is always part of the form. Yeah, and so the health statement form has medical questions similar to the first few questions in the application form. So the health statement form is used for reinstatement. In this case, hindi discuss natin, it's for increasing the face amount. Again, pwede to for family secure. Also, if you're changing the plan, so pwede lang siyang gawin within the first year. And if you want to also adjust the medical rating. So for example, meron kayong client na class B dahil overweight. Class B natanggap yung kanyang policy, yung kanyang ACP 100 for example. If you want to change the rating, for example, nag-exercise si client dahil nga nag-vitality siya, for 1 year pumayat and naging mas healthy, you can actually have their rating reassess para maging standard for example, and you use the health statement form for that. And of course, if you want to add a rider, which is possible pag within 1 year of the ULP policy, or in the case of MoneyWorks and the regular pay variants like Family Secure, pwede kayong mag-add rider every year. You can change the policy every year. Yeah, next. And some guidelines when decreasing coverage. If requested within the delivery date, request takes effect on the effective date and agent will be charged no take-out fine, not taken out fine. Ibig sabihin, ni-reject ng client. So let's watch out for that also. Premium for original FA will not be refunded. For face amount will not be refunded. Instead, bayad na so hindi na pwedeng bawiin. Reduced FA must be within the minimum FA limit. And irrevocable beneficiary should countersign the request. Again, kailangan ng original contract and the premium due. Paano pag nag-change of plan naman? The new plan must be within the underwriting rules. So for example, gusto nila from AIA, from family provider, gusto nila mag AIA future builder. Has to be within the underwriting rules. Takes effect on policy's original issue date. Insured's age should fall within the issue age limit of the new plan. And then face amount and annual premium should not fall below the minimum limit. The minimum limit is usually the kung ano yung original plan, kunyari 500,000 or yun din yung magiging minimum limit. Change to package and participating plans allowed within 1 year subject to proof of insurability. So participating plans, yan po yung may dividends. And then change proof of insurability if the plan is from higher to a lower premium plan. And no refunds for bakit may proof of insurability pag binababa yung premium? Because in the eyes of the company, baka kasi kaya pinapababa yung premium, baka hindi na kaya financially ng client, or kung pinapababa yung premium din, baka may iniinda ng sakit yung kliyente. No refunds for change from higher to lower premium paying plan. Ayan. For the addition of riders, ayan, underwriting rules of the rider must be met. So kailangan, kunyari magpapadag, in the case of family secure, if they got a family secure na plain lang, tapos magpapadagdag sila ng early stage critical illness, kailangan underwriting rules must be met. So dapat 18 years old of age yung client. Tapos inclusion will take effect as of the date of the request and yung approval. So if nagpadagdag kayo, if they got the family secure 2020 and then papadagdag yung critical illness 2021, the critical illness will take effect 2021. If requested within the delivery date, inclusion takes effect on the policy's effective date. So, ito yung ibig sabihin, ito yung nagawa natin yung change bago pa mapadala yung e-plan ng ating mga clients. For deleted riders due to pregnancy, inclusion may be requested 6 weeks after safe delivery and without complications. So, kailangan muna natin paanakin yung babae. Yan, dahil po MECQ na po sa amin, maririnig nyo na po ulit yung magtataho. Yan. So for addition of riders, again, the PDAF is there, the health statement form is there. Again, this time no need for the policy contract kasi everything naman is in e-plan. Ayan, payment of new premiums kasi syempre mag-adjust yung premium to pay for the additional rider. Processing fee if policy is to be rewritten. Medex report kung kailangan, kung ni-require ni Film Life ng underwriting. If payer's benefit is requested, new application for insurance with all questions pertaining to payer completely answered. So panibagong application form. Approval letter from the client na gusto nila na magpadagdag ng rider. And yeah, new policy contract policy. There will be a new policy contract and policy is written. And endorsement, nakalagay naman yun sa loob ng policy contract. Deletion of riders, ganun din. It will take effect. It will take effect during the time na ni-request natin siya. If enforced, deletion takes effect on the next premium due date. Yan, secure consent of irrevocable beneficiary. So kailangan po na alam nung irrevocable beneficiary. So may signature sila doon sa forms. Okay. Filing for a policy loan. So the policy loan request is actually valid for OL plans. So ACP 100, AIO, and actually we learned recently pwede rin to for Guardian 65 tsaka Guardian 5. Basta po merong cash surrender value. Yan. So anong conditions? Personal appearance of the policy owner is required. Kailangan sila po yung mag-submit. So in this case, kailangan po sila yung mag-email sa policy request. Yan. No need to bring original copy of the policy contract. That's e-plan already. If policy contract is assigned or has designated irrevocable beneficiaries, so assignment, the policy assignment form we'll discuss also later. But if it's assigned, for example, to a bank because of a mortgage, or if you have, if the client has irrevocable beneficiaries, yan, the policy loan request form should be signed by all irrevocable beneficiaries and assignees. So if it's assigned to a bank, kailangan pumayag yung bangko na may loan na mangyayari dun sa policy. If policy contract is missing, no concern naman na to dahil hindi na siya required. If policy owner is residing abroad, submit special power of attorney authenticated by the Philippine Consulate. So lahat po ng forms natin pag pumipirma si client or nandun si client abroad, supposedly kailangan ng yan, Philippine yung tawag, red ribbon ba yun? Na may consular approval. Yon. For claims, hindi naman na kailangan. But basta i-email lang nila using yung email nila. Yon. The policy loan form, see also here. Wait lang. Ayan. Anong dagdag lang sa policy loan form tsaka sa cash surrender form or even the partial withdrawal form? This is a recent update from AIA Philippines. Ngayon kailangan nire-require na nila to fill in these details, the residential address and the business address for for authentication, for verification din kasi syempre money will be sent to them eh. So importante ito na ma-fill out. So please explain to your clients na kailangan din ilagay yung kanilang employer address and the occupation and name of the employer. Yan. Of course, yung sub-loan, they are to write down kung magkano yung kanilang ilo-loan, or they can do the maximum loanable amount. So basically, ang magko-compute na niyan is si Film Life, si AIA, para ma-approve at ma-compute na kung ano yung kailangang itirang cash value to retain the plan. Payout option, they can credit to their bank account, or they can choose claim at any BPI or BPI Family Bank branch. Now for transactions involving money, the release of money, especially for credit to bank account, kailangan po lagi ng proof of account. What constitutes a proof of account? SOA nila, statement of account from their bank, whether online or yung photo of the printed copy. Deposit slip or payment slip na naka-indicate na account nila yon. And passbook, if they have a passbook nung client. So that passes off as proof of their account. Yeah. Anyway, the general reminders are also here. So as I said earlier on, lahat po ng ating forms kailangan ng ID na kasama. Okay, next. Yan. So, na-discussan natin briefly yung sa reinstatement. So, if we were to revive a lapsed policy or to reactivate a lapsed policy, first is kailangan wala pang 3 years na lapsed yung policy, or kumbaga hindi sila nagbabayad ng premium and hindi siya naka-premium holiday. If they just want to go back to the premium method, they just have to, this is applicable to OL policies and Yung mga regular pay VUL policies ganito din. They have to pay unpaid premiums. For VUL, minsan wala nang interest, but for OL, meron po yan. That's of course pay the current premium due. Kailangan po mag-submit ng health statement form. Tapos yun nga, i-tick nila yung reinstatement box. Redating means changing their premium due date. So yan. They can do that for OL policies. For VUL, talagang magfo-follow lang yung payment mode. Ganun pa rin siya. Yan. But for OL yan, allowed only once and policy has no cash value yet. So pwede lang siya sa mga bago pang, for example, taken out na ACP 100 for the first year. Yan, pay premium difference due to the increase in the age kung tumanda talaga. Kung nag-adjust yung age nila based on the insurance age. And of course, payment of health statement form and may binabayaran na processing fee of 200 which you can deposit sa BPI account ni Philam. Yan. So, ano yung policy owner service level guide or kumbaga, ano yung turnaround time nila? For reinstatement and amendments, ayan. Once they are given to the branch in terms of printed, ang kanilang turnaround time ay 2 days. Dapat may feedback na in 2 days na reinstate na or na-amend na. VUL4, right now kasi mas umikli pa to because everything is na-access naman nila sa system nila. They can change this on the spot pag dinala natin sa branch. Otherwise, yung policy request they're asking for 4 days. For loans, surrenders, and dividend withdrawals, ayan. Kailangan din ng credit to account form. But our surrender form also already has a CTA attached to it. Yan. Turnaround time is 1 day. Ipoprocess nila. Tapos, ayan, another 1 day for SMS notification to the client. And yan, ready for release of check at the branch. 2 days. Although ngayon, sabi, release of checking is around 5 to 7 banking days. Yun. Yan. Okay. So before we go to claims processing, there are other forms na hindi na na-discuss there. So one of that is the cash surrender form. So cash surrender form, this can be for OL and VUL. Again, for anything that requires the release of money, kailangan na po ng residential address at saka full details ng trabaho. Before, wala pa yan eh. So yan, meron na ngayon. And yan, for the cash surrender form, ano yung pwede magawa for this one? Final maturity, this is for endowment plans before. So if you are helping a client na may Philam policy na medyo matanda na yung policy and it is an endowment policy, this is required to be submitted for the final maturity of the plan. Of course, final maturity also is kung kunyari nag-age 100 na si client, i-release na din talaga yung kanyang benefit. Surrendering the policy is yun din for the cash value or our OL policy naman has the cash value. If it's full redemption, that's the equivalent of the surrender for the VUL. Ayan. And surrender rider with cash value. So hindi lang ako familiar kung ano pang mga riders before ang may cash surrender value, but if in any case in more current policies wala na po ito. Next, Ayan, cancellation within cooling off period for policy and for the rider. So again, ano yung cooling off period? Our policies, if the clients change their minds, they can avail of the cooling off period, or of this is around 15 to 30 days after the effectivity and the delivery of the policy to the clients, for them to change their minds at sabihin na ayoko na, hindi ko na itutuloy yung plan. So ito yung para mabalik sa kanila their premium and their premiums, the and anything na binayad nila. It's as if hindi nangyari yung plan. Ayan, of course, pwedeng the release of money can be through credit to account or claim the check at any BPI or BPI Family Bank branch. Again, statement of accounts, like ayan, statement of account, deposit slips are required as proof of account nung client. Another form, then in credit to account form, this is just the extended version of the ones na nakikita sa premium loan tsaka sa cash surrender. Ayan, so they can choose among these partner banks for crediting of account. So, yan. Land Bank, UB, China Bank, BBP. The other accounts hindi pa. So sa ngayon ito yung ina-allow na accounts. Yan. This is also has to be accompanied by a proof of account. E-notice, enrollment slip. So for your clients na old school and are not using the e-plan yet, and they want to receive their billing notifications and correspondences via email, ayan, this is the form that they have to fill out. Pero ayun, encourage na lang natin sila to use the e-plan. Group health, that's for Corpsol, but basically the same as the health statement form. Investment change request form. So hindi yan na-tackle dun sa old na the presentation. So the investment change form are for top-ups, fund allocation changes, fund switching for our VUL accounts. So ano ba yung relevant na information? Of course, when requesting to top up, yan, lalagay lang yung top up amount, saan siya ilalagay na fund. So if maglalagay yung client to a fund na wala dun sa kanyang existing na chosen funds. For example, they chose adventurous fund nung sa elite funds. Tapos nung magta-top up sila, gusto nila ng mas sa conservative fund na lang ilagay. They can actually do that here. Ilagay lang nila yung fund name and yung percentage or amount na the percentage of the amount na pupunta doon. Change fund allocation is changing yung kung ano yung funds available doon sa kanilang policy. So for example, they chose equity PAMI equity index fund. Kasi gusto nila maging PSGF or strategic growth fund. Yan, dito nila ilalagay yon. They would request for a change of fund allocation. They can also put every other fund if gusto nilang ipaghiwa-hiwalayin. So, but please bear in mind that the fund allocation is different from the fund switch. Meron na kasi yung client na ang nangyari, nag-fund allocation, akala niya nakapag-fund switch siya, ibig sabihin nalipat niya yung account value to another fund. Hindi po. The fund allocation applies to the policy moving forward. So for succeeding premiums for succeeding top-ups. Kung gusto lang nilang i-follow yung fund na pinili nila, yun yung masusunod. So for the shift in account values, yan, dun po tayo sa fund switch. So ayan, pwede nang ilagay kung saan kukunin na fund at saan ililipat. For example, equity index fund gustong ilagay sa bond fund or bond fund to film fund, ayan, pwede po dito. Diyan po ginagawa to sa investment change request form. Yan. So this does not, and of course, yung top ups, for top ups, kailangan lang bayaran yung or i-pay through either the customer office. I'm not sure if Paynamics allows for top ups already. Pero yan, kailangan either through our bank partners or through Film Life customer office. Other forms, life insurance trust deed. Yan, this is actually for for policies na naglagay ng beneficiary na under 18. So this is for the trustee. This is the form that they have to accomplish, and we submit also to legalize yung pagiging trustee nung nilagay natin na trustee for the beneficiary. This actually has to be submitted afterwards para mag-take effect. Hindi kasi automatic yung nilagay natin as a trustee, yung mother, for example, or yung kapatid nung parent. We need to follow it up with this life insurance trustee form. And this one has to be notarized as well. Next, yung na-mention natin kanina, the policy assignment form. This is submitted for mortgage redemption insurance purposes. So yung mga naglo-loan para sa bahay or sa kotse, diba, the banks would require na may insurance yung kanilang customer, yung client. Kailangan may insurance. Yun din po pala isang tip. So when you can also advise your clients that they can use actually their insurance with you, yung policy nila, as pang MRI or pang collateral dun sa loan na ginagawa nila sa bangko. Usually kasi the banks will ask for a new plan for them. Siyempre part na yun ng bangko na makapagbenta din naman ng kanilang kine-carry na life insurance din. But yun, if they have an existing insurance, they can actually use their insurance to use it as collateral or yan, pang mortgage redemption sa bangko. And they do that by submitting also policy assignment form to the bank. So, ayan. In this case, kailangan ng pirma ng bangko. This takes konting legwork because in my experience yon, ang meron sa akin is housing loan ng client sa PS Bank. So what happens is you go to PS Bank, you enroll, you bring the policy with you. Kaya in this case required na magpa-print ng policy. And then we assign the policy to the bank. Kailangan po ng authorized signatory. So sinasabit po muna to sa bangko. Tapos saka sa atin binabalik. Kung maswerte tayo, pwedeng on the day mapirmahan na ng authorized signatory. So that we can also have para mapasign na rin sa client. And of course, this has to be notarized. This also has to be noted by the customer office. And then this is the same form naman, kunyari tapos na yung loan, nabayaran na, this is the same form that will be submitted and asked from the bank for cancellation para may proof na tapos na yung loan and hindi na hawak ng bangko yung policy ng kliyente. Ayan, it's a policy assignment form. And ano pa ba? Yan. So all the forms are available here. Wala lang dito is yung customer service visit form, which is for part of transferring naman the servicing agent. Yan, the transfer of ownership form. So yes po, pwede po magpalit ng proposed ng policy owner yung for insurances na iba po yung insured sa owner. So for example, this is more common for clients na kunyari a parent na nag-insure yung anak niya and gusto nang ilipat yung ownership from the wife, for example, to the husband. This is what will be signed. Ayan. So the contact information here is for the policy, the current policy owner. Tapos this one is for the new owner naman, itong requested transaction, part 2. And part 3, ayan, new owner and previous owner signature yun yung bago. And of course, this also has to be notarized. This is also the same form kung kunyari gusto naman na ibigay na dun sa anak mismo yung ownership. Hindi po kasi automatic na kung kayo yung insured, kayo yung magiging owner. Next, kunyari may nangyari doon sa policy owner, kailangan ma-establish din kasi na nagkaroon ng pagpapalit ng ownership. So if the policy owner wants to give this to the insured individual, yan, they need to sign a transfer of ownership form. And of course, the individual has to be 18 years old. Yan, the W8 and W9 form, these are for foreigners. So, yan, pag Amerikano talaga, that's the W8 form. Importante lang tong part 1 at saka yan, yung signature nila. And of course, kailangan lang ng social security number din na ilagay. Hindi ko na ito bubusisiin kasi yan, mostly just about signatures to tsaka nung details ng client like address niya tsaka yung ID niya sa US. For W9, this is for for individuals na may US indices. So yan, pwede kasing hindi siya US citizen. Or ito, for dual citizens, kailangan nilang mag-submit nito. So it's important that they have their social security number. And of course, they sign here. And of course, the FATCA form or the policy owner's consent and waiver form. Usually kasi, this is now included kasi in the e-application. So if you read the declarations, it forms part of the declarations already, yung FATCA. So when they sign the policy, yun, sa e-submission, when they do remote signing, or when they sign the contract, the application form, they actually are signing this already. But for older contracts, minsan nire-require to ni PhilAm to be submitted also. Or kunyari, nagkaroon nga ng change ng status, naging American citizen, naging dual citizen, kailangan magpa-sign nito or nung W8 or W9 form. And ito yung one of the more recent forms na we submit is a data privacy and consent. So you've probably gone through this sa business conduct tsaka sa ethics. So we need to have the client sign these forms. The data privacy and consent forms are also integrated na sa ating IPOS or dun sa mga sa applications natin through IPOS. Although for older policies and for new transactions, sometimes they are requiring data privacy and consent, especially for transactions involving money. Otherwise, this has been signed already by the client dun sa e-application pa lang. So, ayan. Okay, with that, we go to claims. But before we go to claims, how about we do a 2-minute screen break. So, please bear with us. Ganito talaga eh. There are lots of paperwork then that we need to do for our clients. And this is actually what makes it good customer service, because kung tayo naiirita mag-file ng documents, most probably pati yung mga kliyente natin ganun. So for us to do the admin stuff for them, napakalaking bagay non for them because it takes a load off from what they have to do for themselves. And actually, maswerte tayo because there's now e-plan. We can also do everything. We can have them do everything online through their customer portal. Okay, so let's just go back. Excuse me. Okay, now we go to claims processing. And I hope, mga kapatid, hindi nyo pa ito kailangan ma-experience at the very, hindi nyo pa ito ma-experience for a long time. Because, of course, there are just two kinds of claims. There's the death claim and the living claim. If ever we are to process a claim, I hope, mga kapatid, it's the living claim. Although, of course, there will come a time talaga that we need to process a death claim for our clients. Yan. So there are two types of claims. Again, the death claim due to illness or accident. Other causes like suicide and homicide or murder. And then there's the living claim. Yan nga, yung hospitalization benefit, medical reimbursement for accidents, critical illness claims, dismemberment or loss of use of an appendage, and of course, disability. Yeah. So first we go to death claims. So before we go there, so in the forms library, that's in the death claims forms. So yan. So medyo mas konti naman yung forms for death claims. For the claimants, ayan, one of the kailangang forms is the claimant statement for death claim. And actually, ang maganda ngayon, naka-outline na yung mga kailangan na i-submit na forms with the claimant form. So they have to submit this. These are mandatory requirements. NSO death certificate nung namatay, and of course, one valid identification card of the claimant naman. Conditional requirements, marriage contract kung ang beneficiary ay asawa, police investigation report if death is caused by an accident, joint affidavit of two disinterested persons if there are discrepancies in the names of insured or beneficiaries. So, kung mali yung pangalan na nalagay. Yan, birth certificate of minor beneficiary if child is the beneficiary, guardianship bond or court order if the share of minor beneficiary benefits exceeds 500,000. So, ito pong minor beneficiary, pwede itong maklaim yung benefits pwedeng maklaim ng mga bata ng under 18 na beneficiary if it's lower than 500,000. Ang kailangan lang is an additional affidavit of legal guardianship if minor nga siya. But if it's more than 500,000, kailangan na po siya ng guardianship bond or court order. So medyo mas mabusisi siya. That's also why we encourage our clients na wag sanang bata yung kanilang primary beneficiary. Mas maganda po sana kung co-parent muna, for example, or someone that can look out for the child. So kung may trustee sila, baka pwedeng yung trustee na lang yung beneficiary. Yan. Attending physician statement for contestable claims. So contestable claims ay yung mga namamatay within the 2-year contestable period. So mas mabusisi siya because ayan, pwede kasing suriin palalo ni AIA Philippines. And death certificate of deceased beneficiaries kung sakaling one of the beneficiaries ay wala na doon. And birth certificate of insured if parents are the beneficiaries. Yan, so that's also yan, nakalagay din yan dito. Ayan, so for claim form, kailangan ng complete ng duly accomplished form. And one form only regardless of number of policies. So if they have multiple policies, they just need one form to claim for all of their policies. Yan. So the claimant statement, it's a company claim form, contains information about the beneficiary. Yan. One form per beneficiary regardless of number of policies. Yan. For minor beneficiaries, it is acceptable that the form is accomplished by the parent or guardian. Ano ba yung requirement nga, birth certificate, kailangan NSO birth certificate or local civil registrar. Yan. Original or certified true copy is required. Kung walang birth certificate, pwedeng mag-submit ng baptismal certificate, passport, driver's license, SSS/GSI, GSISID. Dito din naman yan. So yan, the claimant statement form, kailangan lang nung details nung claimant and of course the deceased policy, the policy insured. And of course yung credit to account. And of course yung declarations at saka kumbaga waivers na pag-sign. So this is just short 3 pages lang naman. So mas marami yung sinasubmit na additional forms. Yan. So the death certificate, yan, generally accepted is kailangan NSO certified or from the local civil registrar. Yan. For policyholders who died abroad, the death certificate that will be submitted is based on the country's format. So kung sa US namatay, death certificate galing sa US. Hindi na nila kailangan mag-file ng death certificate dito. The only exception to non-submission of death certificate is missing person case. So alternative to the death certificate for missing person is a letter or an affidavit from the beneficiary stating the circumstances of on why insured went missing. Hindi ko lang sure how many years na nawawala bago ma-consider as dead sa atin. I think kailangan nawawala sila for more than 10 years. I'm not sure but yon. Pag ganon, instead of the death certificate, missing person yung isasubmit. Yan. Policy contract, hindi na po kailangan. So, pwede nang hindi to pansinin. Again, marriage contract is required kung ang beneficiary ay yung asawa. Kailangan NSO or local civil registrar. Police investigation kung accidental death. Police report has to be submitted. And birth certificate of minor beneficiary kung may minor na beneficiary. Certificate of attending physician. Para lang if the insured passed away in the hospital, for example, yan, kailangan po natin ng certificate of attending physician. And of course, pag contestable pa yung plan. So if they died in 2 years, tapos let's say they died because of an illness, ayan. So kailangan po ng certificate of attending physician para lang to establish na hindi namatay yung kliyente because of a pre-existing condition na hindi niya sinabi during the application. Other documents that may be submitted in relation to a death claim. So supporting na lang po ito para po mas ma-establish yung validity nung claim. Autopsy report, joint affidavit of identity, and if there are discrepancies. Yung legal guardianship, yun nga for 500,000 and below na face amount or benefit. Judicial bond pag more than 500,000. Of course, IDs of beneficiaries are required. Death certificate of deceased beneficiary para kung sakaling, di ba kasi nga dinedivide natin into percentages yung benefit. Of course, magbabago yun kung for example, 4 yung beneficiaries, isa doon namatay na. So, ma-reallocate yung percentages. passenger manifest if the deceased insured is died because of a plane crash, for example, or nakasakay sa barko. So we can present this to them. Pwede rin siya for a missing person case, kunyari hindi nahanap yung katawan. Ayun, assured or employer statement if ang nangyari is namatay during hours of work, or nandun, for example, factory worker na na-aksidente sa while working at the factory. Authorization and quitclaim form, this is only available, this is for PELAC, or in this case, PELAC now is BPI Film. So for BPI Film cases po, may quitclaim form. So sila naman na po yung magpa-provide no. Yan. So procedure of death claims, agency manager endorses the case by filing a request for express processing. So ano po ba itong express processing? So there are cases, yung regular kasi na pag-file ng claim, mga kapatid, is that syempre, di ba, usually it will course through us. So, or this time, since paperless na, they can go through, ayan, pakita lang din natin. So, one way of filing a claim is through the website. They can file the claims here already. Yan, file a claim now, for example. So tayo din actually, we can do this for the clients. If ang gusto pa rin ng client is to submit the forms to us, pwede to. So for example, yan, file a death claim. Yan, so we put in the insurance information, tapos beneficiaries information, and just answer the questions. Ang next kasi nito is the uploading of the required files. Yung tapos yun, once we're done with that, pwede naman may reference number na kung saan yun na lang yung ifa-follow up natin with customer office. So that's one. So automated na yung medyo automated na yung claims natin. You can do it via the website. But itong express, sorry. Yung express processing of death claims, paano kung kailangan na nila yung pera? For example, ayaw i-release yung for cases na namatay sa ospital, ayaw i-release yung body nung namatay, nung insured, kasi meron pang utang, di ba? Naka-promissory note sila sa hospital. So we can actually ask for the express processing of death claims para nandun pa lang on the day meron ng benefit. Ang additional procedure lang is yan. It has to be endorsed by the agency manager, in this case si DJ. Kailangan i-file yung request for express processing. Yan, form is available at the branch or at the head office. So hindi to available sa website because of course this is a special form. So in this case, we can request copies of this from si DJ, for example, or if you want to secure it for DJ na din, we can ask for help with our DOA, with our BDM si Raf. This has to be submitted to the branch where the request was filed. So kung you're filing it in Makati, kailangan sa Makati. Should the client fail to submit the requirements within 2 weeks from date of receipt of check, kasi i-release kagad yung check eh, the agency manager's privilege to request for express processing will be suspended. So kailangan natin tulungan si AM, si DJ, di ba? If we are ever to process something like this, yung kailangan excuse me, agad-agad. Let's make sure also that everything is in order within 2 weeks. Yan. Claims department will verify the case. Check is released at the requesting branch or at the HO. Ayan. So, mabilis naman to. Kailangan lang talaga i-comply yung 2 weeks afterwards. Yan, sample cases for express processing. For example, kailangan policies incontestable. Ibig sabihin, tapos na po yung 2 years. Beneficiary is not a minor. Cause of death is an ailment. So dapat po namatay sa sakit. Face amount is equal to or more than 200,000 and the maximum of 2 million pesos. Insurable interest is well established and policy was not assigned. So hindi po siya naka-assign sa bangko. Yan. So in this case, yan. Kung case 1, policy is enforced for 3 years, cause of death is hypertension, namatay sa hospital, face amount is 500,000, primary beneficiary is the insured's 19-year-old daughter. Okay for express processing. Ayan. Bakit yung case 2 hindi pwede? Because the cause of death is through an accident. Yan. Next, living claims. So ito yung mas maluwag sa kalooban na i-file. So for the living claim form, it varies depending on what claim we are asking for. So I think it's better to view the actual claim form kasi nandun din naman yung requirements. Yan. And all the other accompanying forms are also available here for living claim forms. Ganun din po for death claims. So the claimant statement form for living claims, ayan, ito lang yung difference kasi of course, iba-iba yung requirements. Yan, for waiver of premium, excuse me. For waiver of premium, for any of the requests, for any of the living claims, kailangan of course i-submit yung claimant statement form, valid ID of the claimants. In this case, the insured, the owner to. Yun po pala, even if ang na-hospital ay yung insured, ang claimant po will be the policy owner. Yan. Complete medical records include copy of admitting history, discharge summary. So lahat po nang galing sa hospital, sa doktor, kailangan po nating i-submit. For waiver premium, dismemberment, disability, and critical illness, ang accompanying form po is attending physician statement form for critical illness or disability. Ayan. So physician po yung mag-fill out niyan. Let's open that one. Yan, for critical illness and dismemberment, ito yung form. Yung waiver, ito naman for total disability. Yan. In any case, ang mag-fill out naman ito ay yung doktor nung kliyente. Yan, for medical reimbursement and hospital confinement benefit, which is the usual that we are encountering now because of COVID, at saka yung mga quarantine, saka yung pagiging hospitalized nila. What we need are, of course, a claimant statement form, valid ID of the claimants, yan, both the actual ID and photocopy. Original or certified true copy of the SOA of the hospital. Kung walang SOA, you may submit a hospital certification signed by an authorized personnel from the billing or record section of the hospital when claiming for hospital claim. Yan, attending physician statement form for hospitalization or medical reimbursement. So that's another form here. Yan po yung hospital medical reimbursement. And then medical receipts kung for medical reimbursement. And then police or incident report if the hospitalization or the reimbursement is due to an accident. For surgical cases, certified true copy of the operating room record. So this is for the surgical benefit na meron din for Health Invest Plus, and right now Health Invest Plus tsaka Family Secure yung meron. Yun. Yan. So one by one, yun lang naman yun. Certificate of attending physician, only one form for any. Again, yung claim forms po, for example, medical reimbursement ang pina-file, only one claim form, tapos pwede na po yun for all policies. Yan, claimant statement form, yung diniscuss natin kanina, original official receipts. Yan, for disability, ayun lang, ang nagbago lang naman as we discussed dun sa claim form. Yan, so mas handy na ngayon, nakalagay na yung mga kailangan natin. For disability, kailangan lang ng disability, yan, yung disability form. So yan, you can mix and match naman the appropriate forms na nandun sa forms library natin sa website. Service level guide. So for living claims na clean, ibig sabihin wala nang questions, wala nang additional requirements. Ayan, kailangan lang din natin mag-submit ng CTA. Kung gusto nating i-pay out ay diretso na sa account ni client. Turnaround time is around 5 days. So pag na-submit natin ngayon, in 5 working days, banking days, pwede nang ma-release yung fund or yung check. Pag living claims with requirements and under investigation, of course, ayan. This is for yung mga contestable pa or kailangan ng second opinion. Ayan, aside from pag na-receive na nila, sending of requirement notification to SMS or to text tayo, receipt of investigation report, it takes about 5 working days in Metro Manila, 15 days in the province. Ayan, and of course, an additional 5 days para sa crediting pagkatapos ng investigation. So, for living claims with requirements or ayan, yung may balikan, the turnaround time is for Metro Manila a total of 12 days. Pag province, 22. So mas matagal-tagal pag galing pang probinsya. Tapos dito kine-claim. Okay, and that's about it for claim. So just a little bit of a summary. So aside from the claims and the forms that we discussed today, the keys to quality business, of course, quality prospecting. Sana po from the start maganda na yung prospect. Quality selling, let's ensure that all the forms, the documents, the needs are met. That's part of quality servicing. And quality servicing is yan, after they have taken out their policies, for them to be with us, at for them to trust us also, let's do quality servicing. If they have requests, let's do that for them. Especially if they have claims requests, asikasuhin po natin sa kanila, para sa kanila. And because of that, the impact of quality business, of course, more referrals, more endorsements can come from our clients. Kasi syempre, masaya sila and nakikita nila na gumagana for us. Gumagana yung insurance nila or may nakukuha sila. So they would be happier to endorse us to others. And sila din mismo, they are open to repeat sales kasi now they know that the value at na-experience na rin nila yung value nung policy. And of course, because of repeat sales and endorsements, there's a potential for us to earn more through selling to these people. Yan. And this last reminder, Sabi ni Tracy Reese, if our business, sama na ako, if our business isn't the best quality, it will not succeed. So relating this kay DJ tsaka sa sharing ni Israel tsaka ni Leia kanina, if it were not if DJ were not delivering his best quality of service, he won't be entrusted din naman with Starbright. That's the same thing for all of us. If we are not giving our best to our clients, sooner or later down the road, we will fail them. So, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen of Starbright, I hope that we will keep in mind to always give our best, especially for our clients, because they have trusted us with their money, they have trusted us with their goals, they have trusted us with their welfare. So with that, I am opening the floor for some questions. If you have questions about the forms, how to submit them, and sinong kailangan kausapin, please ask away. Meron po ba? Or is everything clear? If everything is clear, you can type C. Or naghang ba ako? Ayan. Si DJ. Thank you, bro, for